down. Hi, I'm Dawn Slade, and welcome to Going Nuts About Health. I'm your host, Dawn Slade, and thank you for joining me today. I am going to be discussing a few things today during this broadcast. And first and foremost, I just wanted to say I have a little rap that I'm going to do. I'm going to do it, and you guys can let me know if you like it or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's called I'm a Girl. I'm a girl. I like to eat mac and cheese, collards, and sweets. I'm on a journey to trim and fit. So the magic number on the scale I hit. Tracking my food and working out twice a day were habits that made my fat go away. In 97, my fat went bye bye. Over the years, it came back on my thighs. Why? Too many cakes, cookies, and pies. Now the number on the scale I hide. I need help. Come go nuts about health with me on my health and wellness fitness journey. So I'm going nuts about health. I'm on a health and wellness fitness journey, and I invite you to join me because it is a journey. It's a journey. It is not how fast you go, it's just consistently on the same path, and you will eventually get to your destination. So I am Dawn Slade from Nuts About Health. And before we get into the nutrition piece of the show, I want to talk about what we talked about last week. Last week I had guest, Ann Slade Abraham and her husband, Barry Abraham, who are the founders of Abraham's Promise. And they talked about their mission to provide STEM education, life skills, and mentoring to the youth. And they are part of a next level nonprofit consortium. I mentioned that last week, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about that consortium. Last week, I said that the consortium has 11 nonprofits. I misspoke. We have 15. We have 15 nonprofits that work together that are being guided by the brilliant Sally A. Blackman. She is an attorney, a native of New Haven, and she is our leader who is really helping us build the infrastructure for our nonprofit organization so that we can be impactful. And as Sally always says, from the African proverb that you can go fast by yourself, but you can go further with each other. And that's exactly what we're doing at the Next Level Nonprofit. We are going together and we want to go further. So I wanted to tell you a little bit more about some of the organizations in that consortium. So Abraham's Promise is one of the organizations, and Nuts About Health, which is my organization, we're a part of it. And Nuts About Health, we're on a mission to slay the obesity monster by providing information, tools, and strategies to people to help them on their journey to optimum health. And that health includes spiritual health, physical health, social and emotional health, educational health, cultural health, and financial health. So Nuts About Health, that's what we do. We provide workshops and information to help people on their journey to optimum health. Some of the other organizations we have in the Next Level Nonprofit, we have Blue Plum Production, which is a production company that's based in California. And by the way, we have the majority of the nonprofits are in Connecticut, but we have a few in Philadelphia, California, and we're about to add one from Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. So getting back to the organization. So that's about health. We have Blue Plum. In New Haven, we have Culturally Correct Creative. Culturally Correct Creative is founded by Reginald Allen Slade. And Culturally Correct Creative is an organization that is committed to helping young people see themselves outside of the criminal justice system, not to see themselves as the accused, but to see themselves as advocate, because only 5% of the attorneys in the United States are African American, yet more than 40% of the inmates are African American. And that figure is pretty much for the whole country. Most of the country, the blacks have been incarcerated in disproportionate amount of numbers. And so our young children are not seeing themselves, but in positive ways where they can see themselves as an attorney, as opposed to being the accused. So that's what Culturally Correct Creative does. And Culturally Correct Creative has a mock trial and CSI program, which teaches children, young people. They walk the path of attorneys, and they walk the path of crime scene investigators. And that's a really great program that Mr. Slade has implemented at King Robinson last year. And he's looking to do it again, not only in New Haven, but all over the country. So we have Culturally Correct Creative. We have Ruth's Closet, which is founded by Cynthia Spears in honor of her mother, who was a teacher at Bassett School. And it's an organization that provides clothing to families in New Haven. And she does that in honor of her mother. So she provides coats and to the children and their parents. That's another one of our organizations. And we also have Candles Cleaning from the Heart, founded by Sharice Galashaw. And Candles Cleaning from the Heart has a program, Phenomenal Women, as well as her gardening program. The name escapes you right now, but really trying to show people how to grow food in small spaces, because in this economy, we know that it is really tough to get healthy food, and the prices they're out there. So why not grow your own? It's more economical, and then you have more control over what you are eating. So we have Amanda Hayes Foundation, which is really the platform for the Next Level nonprofit. We have Resurgence Now Inc., which is a program that does pretty much filmmaking for youth. Resurgence Now Inc. is about, resurging the community, bringing the community back, helping the community be uplifted. And they've been focusing on the youth, and they had a youth program where the kids made a documentary about gentrification, or how the war on drugs affected the New Hopeville area. So that's Resurgence Now Inc. And we have, let me think. Okay, we have C1 to B1, Gregory Brunson, CT Cowboys by Juan Gardner, and I'm missing a few. So we have 15. I'm gonna have to look at my list. We have 15. 8 of them are headed by men. 7 of them are headed by women. Most of them are in Connecticut. We have 2 in Philadelphia, Building Up Black and I Can Breathe. We have 2 in California, the Amanda Hayes Foundation and Blue Plum Productions. And I think that's what we have. But anyway, we are really focusing on rebuilding our community, because how did our community get to this place? How did we get to the place where our children are not doing well in school? We are not doing well financially. We are not doing well with our health. So the Next Level nonprofit, we really had 2 major goals, which is to improve our health outcomes and to establish wealth building strategies so that we can build wealth in our community. And so all of our programs address health, or address building wealth through, exposing children to different types of jobs, and also providing workshops on how to become homeowners, or how to build wealth strategies, because it's all about building wealth, and it's all about being healthy. And so that's what the Next Level Nonprofit Organization does. So, in starting in May, we are doing a 7-part series at the Stetson Library. 7 of our nonprofits are going to be doing 2-hour workshops at the library. They're free, and we want the youth and everybody to come out. The first one is going to be on May the 2nd, from 2 to 4 at Stetson Library, and that is Culturally Correct Creative is going to be hosting that one. And the topic of that workshop is um, oh, legal rights for urban youth, understanding legal rights. And so Mr. Slade is going to do that. And they're going to definitely, we invite the community to come out, especially the kids, because we want the kids to know what their legal rights are. A lot of times, you just don't know. And so we that's what that organization is going to be doing. The second workshop is going to be my workshop, Nuts About Health. And we're helping families go nuts about health. We want to talk to people about what you should be eating, why you should be eating it, how you can be eating it. So that's what Nuts About Health is going to do. And then we have the third workshop is going to be July the 18th, and that's going to be candles, cleaning from the heart. And that's going to be on giving the Solid Phenomenal Women are going to be doing rights for families. And that's going to be that workshop. That's going to be on July the July the 18th. Then we have July 23rd. July 23rd is going to be Abraham's Promise. You met them last week. They're going to be talking about STEM and how to, poise our children to be successful in STEM. Then on August the 1st, we have Resurgence Now Inc. And Resurgence Now Inc. is going to be doing the Young Filmmakers Program. August the 8th is going to be Nape Soul. Nape Soul is Gregory Smith, and he is going to show people how to grow food in your house in a pot. You might not have a lot of land, but he's about gardening. He's the second part of the Salad Lady. I'm the Salad Lady as well. Salad Lady and the Garden Whisperer. He's the Garden Whisperer, and he's going to do a workshop on gardening and being self-sufficient with your food. And then we have on August the 15th, we're going to have Ruth's Kids Closet. And then finally on August 22nd, the Zola Experience. So these are the community events that Next Level Nonprofit is going to be hosting at the Stetson Library. As we get closer to these events, I will bring on the founders of these programs onto this platform. We had Abraham's Promise already up here. I'm going to bring Mr. Slade up here to talk about Culturally Correct. I'm going to bring Sharice Galashaw up there. They're the two that have confirmed so far, so I will let you know. But we're going to talk about why we are doing what we are doing. And again, it's all about rebuilding our community. It's all about lifting up our community, because our community has been targeted so many times, and it's not really right what has happened. And last time I talked about briefly about how do we get here? How did we get to the point where we are failing in school? We are sick with obesity, heart disease, stroke, diabetes. We can't build wealth. Our young people are in jail. How did we get there? Well, I'm going to tell you how we got there. It's called the war on drugs that Richard Nixon started in the late 1960s, initiated in the 70s. And he basically targeted the Black community and the anti-war people who were against the Vietnam War. And his domestic advisor actually had an interview in the 90s that was in Harper's Bazaar that he admitted that they lied. They lied about Black people using all these drugs. But so Nixon set it in motion with the war on drugs. And then in the 80s, you had Ronald Reagan with all the very harsh drug sentencing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not an advocate of drugs, but these were nonviolent these were nonviolent offenses, and people were getting 10, 20, 30 years in jail for marijuana or crack, whereas there was cocaine and they were not getting such harsh sentences. So by the time the 90s came, it just really decimated the community. And at the same time, the war on drugs, the harsh sentencing, and at the same time, there was a relaxation with the Federal Communications Commission, where the Federal Communications Commissions started relaxing all of the regulations that used to prevent certain things from being on television or in the music and so we having two things happen at one time: the crack epidemic, then you're having videos that are showing women as sexual objects, and then there's this whole music genre comes about, which is called gangster rap, which rap music initially was not harsh and negative like that. It was fun music. It was Hotel, Motel, Holiday Inn. It was Curtis Blow rapping. It was more innocuous kind of lyrics. Then the record industry got a hold of it and they created the East Coast, the West Coast war on gangster rapping. So now you have lyrics that are negative, that are about violence, and that's all our kids are hearing, and that's all our kids are seeing. So, and then the television shows start to change. Remember, in the '90s, in the '80s, we had the Cosby Show. Then we had Living Single in the '90s. We had A Different World. We had positive media representation, and I know how positive A Different World was because I'm a graduate of Howard University. I did my graduate work there, but one of the professors that was at the school, she said that she wanted to go to a historical Black college because of watching A Different World. So we had shows like A Different World. We had shows like The Cosby Show. We had shows about Living Signal. We had a lot of shows about Black family and positiveness. Now it changed. And if you look at what we're seeing now, it's not positive music. It's not positive messaging. It's not positive images. And so all of that coupled with disrupting the family, throwing the men in jail. If you take men out of the community, you destroy the community. And people are like, why are Black people this and why are Black people that? Because we were targeted and our men were taken out and thrown into jail at their earning potential time, their highest earning potential time, at their sexual peak. They're thrown in jail. They're in jail for 10, 20, 30 years. No men are in the community so that young men can look up and have mentors. Women are being thrown in jail because of the crack epidemic. So it was a lot. And so our community that went from it takes a village. It went from, your neighbor heard you doing something or they would call your mother before you got home. It went from that to people being on their own and not having that cohesiveness. And so now we see what's going on, that our children they're going to school and they're not doing well in school because they don't want to be in school. They don't see any positive role models on television. They don't see any positive role models in their community because our communities have been quite frankly destroyed. I grew up in the Ashman Street projects, and that was a great place to grow up. It's gone, knocked down. Every place where Black people used to have a community is gone. And in New Haven, Dixwell Avenue being gentrified. This is happening all over the country. I saw a documentary not too long ago about Boston, and the young lady had gone to Boston to get her master's degree in film. And when she got to Boston, she said, "Where are the Black people?" She couldn't find no one Black in the actual city of Boston because they pushed them out because they're gentrifying every place. So this is what's happening. And so our community has a deficit. So that's what the Next Level Nonprofit, we are about coming together to uplift our community through education, financial education, health education, through mentoring, and letting the children know that you have an imagination. And if you can see it, you can achieve it. And so we want to make sure that our community and we have a legacy of young people. We don't want our young people to just not think that they can't do anything because the way it looks like now, only thing they can do is be a rap star or a basketball player or a football player, and that's not true. There's a lot of professions out there, but as one of our nonprofits, Mr. Gregory Brunson, the name of his is you got to see one to be one. You have to see it to be it, and that's what we want to do. We want to show the kids, what it looks like to be in front of a camera, what it looks like to be behind a camera, how to create. It's all about creating. If you can create, if you can think, if you have imagination, then you can see a bigger future. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with the Next Level Nonprofit organization. So again, the Next Level Nonprofit Consortium is a consortium of 15 nonprofits. 8 are run by men, 7 are by women. They are primarily based in Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and California, and we are bringing one in from Ohio. We are locking our arms together because together we can go much further than we can go on our own. And that's an African proverb. And one of the reasons we're doing that, and I is because many times when we apply for grants, people will say to me, and not Nuts About Health has been around since 2005. They say, well, we don't know who you are. We don't know who you are. Now, mind you, we're in the community doing the work, but they don't know who we are. And because we don't have the infrastructure of a lot of large nonprofits, our funding opportunities are limited. So we're coming together as a unit where we are all doing the work in the community. We're doing financial literacy. We're doing job readiness. We're doing health and wellness. We're doing all kinds of, gardening. We're doing STEM. We're doing mentoring. We're doing the work so that our children will be able to see something besides what is just being plastered in their face, and that we can, as a unit, be impactful. So, as a matter of fact, we've been doing this for a couple of years. The Next Level Nonprofit, which was created by Attorney Sally Blackman, we've been meeting for years, and we're actually having a meeting on Saturday where she's bringing us all together. We're working on our pitch decks. We're working on all kinds of financial documents that we need to make sure that we have so that we all are doing the same thing, working at the same pace so that when we apply for grants, we got our I's dotted and our T's crossed, and it puts us in a better possession. I mean, not possession. Yeah, we want to possess that money. Puts us in a better position to be able to get the funding to impact the community. So look for more information about our 7 series nonprofit workshops, which are going to be held at the Stetson Library, located at 197 Dixwell Avenue in New Haven, Connecticut. Those workshops are starting May the 2nd from 2 to 4, and then it's going to be in May. That's going to be the first one. Then the next one will not be until July. But I will keep you posted on the workshop series. And again, as I said, we are a bunch of nonprofits committed to the work to improve our community so that we can overcome some of the very negative things that have happened to us based on the political campaign, the war on drugs launched by Richard Nixon, that was really designed to target Black people, criminalize them in the news, and disrupt their communities and their families. We're going to rebuild our families and we're going to rebuild our health. That's going to take me to the next subject of our health. Our health is awful. Our health is worse than anything. We lead the pack in everything. We're more obese. We have more high blood pressure. We have more heart disease. We have more diabetes. We are more of everything. Why? Because we don't even understand. We're illiterate with what the food that we're eating. And we can't help it because they're spending billions of dollars advertising, marketing that food to us and to our children. And we don't realize that it's food like, it's not real food. It's not real food. So that's nuts about health. So that's going to bring me to the second part of this conversation is, you know, what you eat matters. What you eat matters. What I eat matters. What you eat matters. Now, the problem is that most of us just don't understand that the standard American diet is full of chemicals, additives, and preservatives that's making us sick. And the food industry knows that because they're the ones that's making it. They're making this food that's making us sick, that's making us fat, but they don't care because it's making them money. It's all about the Benjamins. And we have to become informed consumers to understand what you eat matters. So let's talk about what you eat matters. The standard American diet is a diet that has too much sugar, added sugar, too much salt, too much bad fat. That's seed oil, soybean oil, canola oil. It has not enough fiber, not enough fresh fruits and vegetables. It's all packaged. It's in a, and it's called ultra processed food. So recently on 60 Minutes on February the 6th, 15th, um, the host interviewed the former the former commissioner of the federal drug, the FDA, Mr. Kessler. And he talked about this ultra processed food is destroying our bodies because our bodies were never designed to have those items in it. The body needs real food. The body needs whole food. The body needs food that God made that has nutrients and vitamins and minerals. And the ultra processed food, the foods that come in a package, the foods that have 7 or more ingredients in it, the foods that when you read the ingredients, it says GRAS, which is generally recognized as safe, not until it makes somebody sick and then somebody files a lawsuit and then they take that ingredient out of that food. So a lot of the food that we're eating is made in a factory. And when you read the labels, if you can't pronounce it, if you can't go to the store and purchase that item and bring it home and make it at home, you don't want that in your body because that is going to make your body hold on to extra fat. That's going to make your body be malnourished. And sickness and disease comes from really two places: deficiency in vitamins and toxins in the body. So the standard American diet, all of the stuff that we love to eat, all the stuff that they advertise on television, all of that stuff is making us sick. And people don't understand that if you stop eating that stuff, because it's stuff, I ain't even gonna call it food, it's stuff. If you stop eating that stuff, your body is going to adjust. And guess what? You're going to release the extra fat, which is stored as toxins. You're going to release the extra fat that is stored as hormones, or hormones that can't be broken down because they take a little chicken that, growing up back in the day, if anybody's grandparents had a farm, that chicken took a minute to grow up. Not today. They pump the chickens with so much hormones. How are they going to keep up with the demand for the chicken sandwich at this fast food restaurant and that fast food restaurant? There's no way, humanly impossible, that you can have chickens being grown at the pace that is needed to keep the demand for the fast food chicken sandwiches. It's not happening. So about 2 years, maybe a year ago, the FDA approved what they call lab meat. They actually approve meat that can be made in a lab. And so a lot of times when you go to the restaurant, you eating chicken, are you really? It could be lab meat because it is approved. And you know what? On the next time I come, I'm gonna actually give you the date and the time, the date that they actually approved that and what they said it does. But the lab meat is, can you imagine eating food that is made in the lab? You're eating it every day when we eat junk food, when we eat processed food, when we eat ultra processed food. That's the food that's made in the lab. So the standard American diet is ultra processed. More than 50% of our calories come from that ultra processed food. That ultra processed food is high in sugar, high in added sugar. Okay, and that brings me to the second 60 Minutes news story. 60 Minutes been around a long time. It's a news magazine story on one of the stations. There was a episode where they did a study on the dangers of sugar and high fructose corn syrup. And what they found is that when you drink a sugary drink, it attacks your liver. So you could be eating all kinds of healthy food, but as soon as you get that 32-ounce big gulp full of sugar, that is putting poison in your body. And the doctor, Dr. Richard Lugwin, he's a pediatrician. He was a pediatrician, and he said, you know what? He decided that he had to attack this sugar thing because he saw his patients coming in, his young kids coming in. They were sick and they were overweight and they were unhealthy. And he says that sugar is really bad. And now that's hard for us to really embrace, right? It's really hard to embrace that white sugar that we put in our cakes, that we put is bad for us because your body doesn't need all that sugar. Your body knows how to make the sugar that it needs. The purpose of the sugar in your body, which is called glucose, the purpose of that is to go into the cells of your body to provide energy. But when there's too much of the sugar that you take in through food, then the pancreas then injects the insulin to try to escort it into the cell. But then it's too much. Then the pancreas is working all the time, the insulin becomes inefficient. So then you have all of this sugar in your blood, and you're called what they call insulin resistant, that your insulin can't be used in your body. So it stays in your blood, and then it's going to go somewhere else. It's going to store as fat. So then you're going to have fat on your arms, you're going to have fat on your behind, you're going to have fat in your belly. That's the sugar piece. Then you have the foods that have all the hormones in it. So when they put the hormones in the food, in the chicken, in the beef, in the whatever, you are what you eat. So when you eat that food, you are eating those hormones. When you eat that food, when the animals get sick, because farming in America is not like farming back in the day with your great grandmother and your grandfather when they had their little farm. They had some chickens. They might have had a pig or so, and the chickens roamed the garden, roamed the ground, ate the worms, ate the grass, and the hog or the pig, you fed it. They're all now put into these factories where they're packed in factories. And so the chickens are packed in factories, the cows, the pigs, and guess what? They get sick. And when they get sick, what do you think? What do they do? What do the farmers do? If the farmer have a sick chicken or a sick goat, pig, what do you think that farmer's going to do? You think that farmer's going to take that and take it out? No. What do? They give it antibiotics. They give it medicine. And so the animal that you're eating has been given medicine, antibiotics. And if that animal has been given antibiotics and you eat it, you have been given antibiotics. And recent information that we're becoming aware of is just how important our gut health is to our overall health. And when we have protruding bellies, our bodies are not able to digest the food. Well, that's because the enzymes or the good bacteria in our stomachs are not there because the antibiotics that we've taken, never mind you taking antibiotics because you need it because you're sick, but the antibiotics that you're taking from that chicken that you ate or that pork chop that you ate or that hamburger that you ate, it's interrupting your good bacteria, your gut health. And so that's a problem. So guess what? Nothing's being broken down. It's being stored as fat. Then we go to the additives and the preservatives, the emulsifiers, the things that make it stay on the shelf longer, the things that make it look prettier, the dyes, the red dye, the blue dye, the yellow dye, the generally recognized as safe ingredients, or beware of another label on the another uh, words on the label, natural flavoring. Well, what is that? Natural flavoring is another catch-all phrase where they could put stuff in there that shouldn't be in there, and you don't know what it is. So if it has natural flavoring, leave it in the store, because you can't go to the store and buy a bottle of natural flavoring and come home and put it in your biscuits. So the key is you really have to look at the label and see what it says. The food industry is making billions of dollars selling us things that they know are not good for us. So we want to eat foods that are in their natural state. We got to move away from the standard American diet, and we got to move towards more whole food, plant based nutrition. Okay, so what is that? Whole food, plant based nutrition is food that you can recognize when you pick it up. You see it. It's an apple, you eat it. It's an egg, you crack it up, you fry it, you eat it. You can that's a whole foods. But when you see a chicken nugget, it ain't got no wings. You don't know it's that chicken. It's breaded up and fried up, and they tell you it's a chicken nugget. That's a processed food. So you want to eat foods that are more close to the natural state, the way that God made it. So you can look at it and recognize that it's an animal. You can look at it and recognize that it came from a tree or was grown in the ground, a potato, an apple, an orange, a pepper. You can see what that food is. And then you take that food and you put it together to make a meal. That's what we should be eating. And we should be eating more plant-based food than ultra processed garbage, because that's really what it is. It's garbage. I mean, they call junk food junk food. I mean, who eats? We're supposed to be so smart as people, as man, as who God made. God said, "I'm going to give you dominion over the world." But then we are supposed to be so smart, but we eat food that's called junk food and don't want to give it up. And then we wonder why our body breaks down, because our body is fearfully and wonderfully made. But it can't be fearfully and wonderfully made if we're giving it stuff that it can't use. So we have to recognize that we have to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. And what that means is, I know that food tastes good, that junk food and that fast food tastes good because it's engineered to do so. It's engineered to be good. It's engineered to make you keep coming back for more. It's engineered to give you a dopamine hit because it's called the bliss point. And there was an article written by Michael Moss. He was an investigative journalist. I think it was written in 2016, entitled "The Extraordinary Science Behind Addictive Junk Food." Addictive. So they want you to be addicted to the junk food so that you could keep coming back and buying it over and over and over and over. That junk food is made in a factory that has ingredients that you cannot recognize, ingredients that your body struggles to digest. And that's what we're eating. So we have to change what we're eating. We have to move away from the standard American diet. We have to eat more whole, plant based nutrition. And how do we do that? I'm going to tell you how you do that. You want to go to the store and buy the things that are in the outer aisles of the supermarket. You go into the supermarket, you take a right, and you just go around the produce, and then you keep going down, then you're going to take a left, and then you see the meat, and then you'll see the eggs, and then you go all the way down to the end, and there you go to the bread, but you got to really, bread is a whole different. I'm gonna do a whole show on the bread, but you got to look at the label because a lot of it is not good. But you get out of there. The stuff that's in the middle of the supermarket, that's the ultra processed stuff, the high fat, the high sugar cereals with the dyes in them, the stuff that they're marketing to our children, red, blue, orange, yellow cereals that are just full of junk, and it's making us sick. And our kids are not getting enough omega fatty acid for their brains, so they got attention deficit disorder. They can't sit still. They don't want to do anything. They jittery because of the things that if you don't give your body what it needs, the body is not going to be able to um, operate the way it's supposed to operate. So the body has 11 body systems, and the brain is the control center. And the brain needs the omega 3 fatty acids. And the brain is not getting that. So what's happening is that people are foggy in their brains because too much sugar causes inflammation in the brain. So too much sugar, too much ultra processed food, we can't focus, we can't concentrate. And our children are just not getting the stuff that they need for their brains. The, because the ultra processed food has too much omega fatty 6 that comes from the bad seed oils that cause inflammation. Inflammation is the culprit. Inflammation is the culprit for obesity. Inflammation is the culprit for heart disease. Inflammation is the culprit. Get rid of inflammation, you'll see the health improve. So we have to recognize that this body that God made, that He got out of the dirt, the black dirt that it was anyway. Ah, that's another subject. But He brought, and it's a magnificent machine. But we got to give it the right fuel. Food is the fuel. And the purpose of food is to nourish, fuel, and heal the body. We have to change because we are being brainwashed by billions and billions of dollars of advertisement to tell us to buy foods that are ultra processed that are not good for us. And the reason that happens is we eat that food and then we get sick. And then, just take a survey when you look at television. What are the commercials that are being promoted when you look at television? It's not for a whole food, plant based diet. It's not for avocado or grapes or oranges. What are they promoting? Drugs. They're promoting, ask your doctor about this, ask your doctor about that. You shouldn't ask your doctor about anything. You should go to your doctor and say, this is how I'm feeling. You shouldn't be asking your doctor about some drug that you don't even know about, but they make it look all good and people running through the fields, and then next thing you hear, it can listen to the side effects. If you listen to the side effects, you'll be like, I'm not going to take that. But they're conditioning you. The food industry and the health industry, they're conditioning you that you're supposed to be sick. They're conditioning you that you just ask your doctor about something. They're conditioning you to take a pill and it's all going to go away. No, you have to make some changes. And you can start with what you eat. You can start with what you eat. Now, it's not easy. I've been on this journey a long time, but it's not impossible. And for God said, all things are possible with Him. So if we really, and He said He'll give you the desires of your heart. If you really want to be healthy, you got to travel the road less traveled, which means you have to turn around, repent. You got to transform your mind. You got to inform yourself and recognize that you have sole responsibility for yourself. Nobody can put the food in your mouth. They can condition you and make you believe that this is delicious, good food. And if you don't recognize that it's an addictive thing that they are doing, they're making you addicted to sugar. They're making you addicted to fat, sugar, and salt. They're making you addicted so that you could come back over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So they can make millions and millions and billions and billions and billions of dollars so that you can get sick and then you go to the doctor and then you're taking medicine. It's a vicious cycle. So we live in a country, and this might be in other countries too, but in America, we live in a country that does not care about the food industry, doesn't care about the health system. The health system doesn't care about the food industry. Just think about when you go to the hospital, what are they feeding you in the hospital? They give you diet soda. Diet soda is not good. It's man-made. You'll be a diabetic and they'll let you eat rice pudding. What? So we have to be more informed about what we're doing with our bodies. So we're talking about what you eat matters. What mostly The most important decision you make every day is what you're going to fuel this body temple of yours. I think the scripture is 1 Corinthians 6:19 that says the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And if the body isn't at its best, then God can't give you inspiration. God can't give you ideas. God can't use you in his kingdom. He needs you. He needs you in his kingdom. He has given you an assignment. He has given you gifts and talents. He needs for you to use them to make the world a better place and bring people into the kingdom of God. He needs you. And guess what? Satan knows that. So Satan wants to come to rob, to steal, and destroy, make you sick so that you don't feel good. If you don't feel good, you can't do your best. So the enemy's job is to rob, to steal, and destroy. He attacks your health. He attacks that's your body. He attacks your money, and he attacks your relationships. That's what he is going to do. He is attacking our bodies because what we are putting in our bodies is not what God wants us to put in our bodies. Sugar is supposed to be a treat that you have occasionally. Sugar is in all kinds of fruit. And we were designed to, back in the day, when God first designed us, was to have that sugar occasionally, but you go to, and you get it off the tree and you eat it. But then man took it and he has come up with high fructose corn syrup. Anything that has high fructose corn syrup, do not put that in your mouth. And most of the things that you like to drink has it. You got to look at the labels. High fructose corn syrup, you have regular sugar, honey is a natural sugar, but it still spikes your blood sugar. Maple syrup, anything that ends with oats is a sugar. So sugar is in everything. And you have to read the labels. And once you take it out of your diet, once you take all that sugar out, it's not going to be easy. I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy, but it's not impossible. All things are possible with God. You can do it. All you got to do is ask and you will receive. So it's all about this body is a magnificent machine. God created something amazing. He created this wonderful body out of the dirt, which has 11 systems that work together. The brain is the control center. We have to take care of the brain. The brain needs no ultra processed food. The brain does not need all that sugar because all that sugar, all the ultra processed food, what it's doing is clogging up the blood flow to the brain. So the arteries are supposed to be like that big, right? See how big that is? When we eat all that bad food, it closes up like that. So then the blood can't get through to the brain, can't get through the heart, can't get through to all the other places. So if we change what we eat, we will start to see things getting better. So we want to move away from the standard American diet. We want to eat more whole food, plant-based foods. We want to eat what they call minimally processed foods. Those are foods that you don't do much to eat them. You have an apple, you eat it. You have a banana, you eat it. You're making a soup. You get your carrots and your onion and your celery and your tomatoes and your broth and you put it together. That's minimally processed. So we have to eat more foods at home because then that way we know what we're eating. We don't know what we're eating when we eat in the fast food restaurant. We do know that the food industry is very ultra processed. And so we have to eat more foods that are minimally processed. And I know you're going to say, well, Dawn, I don't like to cook. I don't want to cook. I don't have time to cook. Those are all legitimate reasons. But then you have to also look at this. Aren't you worth being inconvenienced to take care of yourself? Anytime you don't want to get out of your comfort zone, you can never grow. And if cooking for yourself is going to make you feel better, if cooking for yourself is going to make you healthier, if cooking for yourself is going to set an example for your children and your grandchildren, do you think that's not worth it? Think about it. We have allowed people outside of us to convince us that giving our responsibility for what we feed our body to a third party is okay. Let me just go through the drive through. Let me just go through the restaurant. But you don't know what's in that food. And you don't even know if the people that are cooking the food are got clean hands. I mean, you go to the restaurant sometimes they say, employees wash your hands. What? Don't you wash your hands? Then your mama teach you to wash your hands when you left the bathroom? But there's restaurants where they have signs up that's telling people, employees, make sure you wash your hands before you come out the bathroom. You want to eat at places like that? When you can make your food yourself. And guess what? Coming together and eating as a family is one of the best things you can do for yourself and your family. You may not be able to do it every day, but you could do at least one day a week where you can get together around the table. It used to be Sunday, used to be Sundays. Everybody would have Sunday dinner together. People go to church, come home, have Sunday dinner. Around the table is how you find out what's going on with everybody. That's where you share. That's where you communicate. That's when you lift each other up. And making healthy eating a family affair is the best thing that you can do because health is your number one wealth and your family is your number one blessing. That's the mantra of Nuts About Health. And we want families to come together around the table, eating healthy, lifting each other up, supporting each other's ideas. That's what we have to do. And we can't do that if we're eating bad food because we don't feel good. You got joint pain, you got ache pain, your feet hurt, you can't. All of this is because of things that are not going right in your body. And remember that when our bodies are not in balance, it's called dis-ease. The disease is dis-ease, and it's usually caused by vitamin deficiency and too many toxics in the body. If you're eating ultra processed foods that don't have no nutritional value, you're having that vitamin deficiency. And if you're eating ultra processed foods that have nothing but additives, preservatives, and all kinds of things in it, you're eating toxins. Let's move away from both of those. Let's cut it off. Let's cut off the ultra processed food and the toxins. Okay, how do we do that? Ditch the sugar. Leave it alone. Don't have it. Don't buy anything that has more than 7 ingredients in it. Anything that has, and when you read those labels, anything that has soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, leave it in the store. Those bad seeds, omega-6 fatty acids causing inflammation. Inflammation's causing obesity, heart disease, all of the stuff. You want to eat things that are made with pure olive oil or avocado oil. Even grass-fed, whole, really good butter because it's made from the animal. It's not made in a factory. It's not refined. So if you stop eating out, fast food, restaurants, if you stop eating sugar, because the doctor said that sugar is a drug, no less worse than cocaine. That's how addictive it is. And you try it. If you're a sugar addict, you try to stop eating that sugar, you're gonna have some withdrawal. You're gonna have to, but it's worth it because it's poison in your body. And children that are eating and drinking lots of sugary drinks with artificial colors in it, it's not helping these kids. And then remember, children today, not only are they don't have good diets, because we all used to go home and when the street lights came on, we went in the house, we ate dinner, the kitchen was clean, and we went to the TV, we ate, we looked at our maybe 1 hour TV show. We had turns in our family, each one. We had a week. I got a week to watch what I want. My siblings got a week. That's how and we did that with dishes too. But anyway, then you went to bed. So you didn't have anything to keep you up all night. You got good sleep. Good sleep, that's a whole different story. I'll talk to you about that some other time. So getting back to what I want you to take away from this particular conversation is what can you do today that's going to put you on a better path to good health? Eat less. Eat less ultra processed foods. Eat less ultra processed foods. Eat more minimally processed foods. And I'm going to leave you with this. There was a study done in August of 2025, and it was in the magazine called Nature Medicine. And there was a study that was done for 8 weeks. It took two groups of people. Two groups of people were put on specific diets. One group was put on an ultra processed diet. That's the junk food, the fast food, the food is made in a package with bad oils and things like that. The other group was on a minimally processed diet. Foods that you could recognize, you cook it, you might use some olive oil, you might minimally process. In 8 weeks, the minimally processed group of people lost twice as much weight than the people who ate the ultra processed food. That was one of the benefits. The second benefit was that the minimally processed group, reported they had no cravings. They didn't have any cravings for that bad food. And the third thing was they reported that they felt much better. They didn't have stomach aches. They didn't have headaches, all by changing what they ate. So it's simple. It's not easy because we have been conditioned through the big food companies to be addicted to foods that have junk in them. But this study indicates that if you change what you eat, that you can lose the weight. And the reason why you want to lose the weight is because the extra weight that you're holding on to is storing toxins in your body. It's storing extra hormones. It's storing extra sugar. So if you stop giving your body extra sugar, if you stop giving your body hormones that can't be broken down, if you stop giving your body toxins, then the body can take what you've given it. It is nutritionally dense and it can use it for the 11 body systems that need to have the vitamins and the minerals that it needs to work. Okay? So that's what you want to do. So you want to eat a whole foods plant-based diet. There's a doctor that he has a documentary out called How Not to Die. And he wrote a book 10 years ago. And his argument and his proof that if you eat a plant-based diet, that's the best thing that you can do for your health. So he has what he calls the 12 dozen. The daily dozen food items that he suggests that you eat every day, and that's going to be giving you better health. Beans, and he doesn't eat any animal products, but beans, cruciferous vegetables, which are like broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, regular other vegetables, fruits, all kind of fruit, berries, flaxseed. Flaxseed is a seed that is really good at high in omega-3 fatty acid for your brain. He also said nuts, and I'm missing a couple of them. It's called the Daily Dozen. What else am I? Water is one of them. I'm missing a few, but anyway, whole food plant-based diet. That's what we want to do. We want to do that for our bodies because what you eat matters. What you eat matters. And you know what? If you want to see any of the stuff that I'm talking about, you can go to my website, which is Nuts About Health, nutsabout.health.org. And all the information that I talked about today, I'm going to put it up on my website in case you want to look at it more. And you can look at the both of the 60-minute specials that they talked about sugar and ultra processed foods. And you can also look at the documentary, What Not to Eat, How Not to Die. So I thank you for joining me on Going Nuts About Health. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Eat less, more minimally processed food, less ultra processed food. See you later.